Okay, so example 2. All right, so we're going to do a few different things, but this time we're actually going to start with the equation. So we're actually going to be given the equation. Okay, so this particular one's going to be x minus 3 squared, okay, over 4, all right, minus y plus 5 squared, and then all over 16, okay, and then equals 1. That's the standard form of the equation. And now the first thing we want to do is we actually want to go ahead and identify which one we're looking at. Okay, so we've got to see, well, is x first, is y first? Okay, so in this particular one, x is first. So we've got to remember that my transverse axis is going to be horizontal. So I'm actually going to go ahead and write that. The transverse axis is horizontal. Okay, because that will help us with a lot of different things. Okay, so the transverse axis is horizontal, and then we are done with that part of the information. Okay, so we can probably remember that, right? This is h, right? That's your k. Okay, that's your a squared. That's your b squared. Okay, so you have it here in case you need to reference it, but I'm going to go ahead and expand it so we can see a little bit more. Okay, so your transverse axis is horizontal. Okay, now we're going to do a few different things with this. We're going to graph it. Okay, we're going to graph it down here. We're going to find the center. Okay, we're going to find the foci. I'll leave some space to do that work. And we're going to find the asymptotes. Okay, and we'll do that over here. And then we're going to find asymptotes, and then we'll find the eccentricity. Okay, now I just want to point out the eccentricity is the exact same as it was with the ellipse. Okay, so that eccentricity is always going to be equal to c over a. Okay, so if you have your c, if you have your a, very simple formula. Okay, so we'll be able to do that. All right, so let's start with our center. Center should be relatively simple. Okay, you've got your h is 3. You've got your k, right? You're working backwards. So this is actually going to be negative 5. Okay, so we've taken care of the center. All right, let's go ahead and do, let's see. Let's go ahead and do the foci, okay? So for the foci, you're going to need your C, okay? And we've got to remember the relationship for the foci. But first of all, let's go ahead and plot the center. Okay, so we got 3, negative 5. Okay, so 3, and then we're going down negative 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's your center. Okay, and now we've got to remember, right, that it is the transverse axis is horizontal. So you're going to have a hyperbola that's going to look something like this. Okay, you've got your little arc there, and then you got your arc over here. Okay, now a few things that we can do is we can also point out A, B, and C. Let's see what we have. Okay, so do we have A? Well, yeah, we do, because that's A squared. Okay, so since this is your A squared, right, you've got to work backwards. Just a quick, some quick side work, right? A squared is equal to 4. Okay, so therefore your A is 2. Okay, so we're up here. We've got A. Okay, B, same thing. You've got your, let's do it over here maybe. You got your B squared, which is 16. Therefore your B is 4. Okay, so you've got your B. Okay, now we don't have C. Remember, we do need C to find the foci. Okay, but just a few other things while we're at it, I guess, with that A, just to show you, right? So since my transverse axis is horizontal, okay, let's go ahead and actually get the vertices for this particular hyperbola. Okay, so the vertices, well, we're going 2 in both directions. So 1, 2, that's going to be a vertex, and then 1, 2, that's going to be a vertex. So you've got, again, you've got your kind of curves in here in order to fill it in, okay? So we'll do that eventually, but for now, let's also find the foci. Okay, so remember the relationship, though, is that the foci, you've got to find that C value, which again is equal to the square root, okay, of A squared, okay, plus B squared. Okay, well, we have A squared. A squared is 4, B squared is 16. Okay, so we've got 4 plus 16. Okay, and then you've got the square root of 20, which we're going to go ahead and round to, let's see, about 4.5. Okay, we're going to round that to 4.5. Nice and simple there. Okay, so don't forget what we just did. Okay, all we did was find C. That doesn't actually help us find, well, it does help us find the foci, but it's not the foci. Don't forget. Okay, right here's your center. Okay, that's your H comma K. You're going to add 4.5 to get your first focus, and then you'll subtract the 4.5 to get your second focus. Okay, so let's go ahead and write our foci at least. Okay, so don't forget we're going in the X direction, so we're going to be working with that 3, okay, right, because the focus will be kind of in between those two curves, okay. So the foci will have, the first one will have 3, okay, and then we're going to add 4.5, and it's still comma -5, okay. And then for the second one, let's go ahead and get this. So that's 7.5, comma -5. Okay, so that's 1. All right, and then we'll subtract it this time. So 3 minus 4.5, comma -5. Okay, and then we'll get -1.5 here, comma -5. Okay, so that's focus 1 and focus 2. We'll make sure to graph that towards the end, but for now, we'll go ahead and leave it. Okay, now for the asymptotes, let's go ahead and get these because this is super important here. Okay, remember it's a formula. Okay, we can go back to the formula, right? It's in the textbook. You know what? We'll go ahead and write it. Okay, so for the asymptotes, okay, you got y. Okay, it's minus k, y minus k, and then you got equals. For this particular one, okay, remember it actually changes. But for this particular asymptote, you're going to go ahead and put whatever's under, you're always going to have whatever's under the y, right? So this is b squared. You're actually always going to put that first. Okay, so whatever's under your y first, just to show you what we're referencing. Okay, you got, let's see here. Okay, you've got this formula right in here. Okay, so I'm using this right here, that one at the bottom. Okay, so that is the asymptote formula. Okay, you've got, remember, it changes with the horizontal versus vertical. Okay, so with the horizontal transverse axis, which is what we're doing, it's got to be b over a. Okay, so that's the equation. I'm not going to rewrite it now that we're looking at it. Okay, that's the equation though. Okay, we're going to plug in our k, we know k, plug in h, we know h, and we know b and a. All right, so let's go ahead and just write them at least, and then we will also graph it. Okay, so not y minus k anymore. We'll go ahead and just fill in the whole thing. Okay, so it's going to be y plus 5. Okay, and then equals, notice you got 2 of them. Okay, you got positive and negative. Okay, 4 over 2. All right, and then x minus 3. Now, here's kind of a quick way to do this. Well, first of all, we'll just look at our slope. Okay, so our slope is going to be positive. Well, 4 over 2, this is going to change to, we'll do y plus 5 equals positive negative 2 now, x minus 3. Now, this is in point slope form. Okay, if you recognize this from Algebra 1, this is point slope form. Okay, where you have the slope, okay, is this right here. Okay, you've got a point, and that's why it's called point slope form, right? So that it's got a coordinate of 3, comma negative 5, which we know to be the center. Okay, and then it's got a slope of positive and negative 2. So let's just quickly draw that. Okay, we've got, that's actually going to be this right here. So we got up 2 over 1. Okay, so here it is. Okay, and down it's going to be right here. Okay, so that's asymptote 1. We also got to do the negative one, so it'll go up this way. So that's kind of a good way to do it, right? You're just going to go to the center, and then you're going to use that slope that you get. Okay, so those are our two asymptotes. Now we can actually fill it in, okay? And we'll write the foci, but here it is. Here's the hyperbola. It's going to look something like that and that, okay? And then same over here, okay? Okay, so that's the actual hyperbola. We'll make sure to write our foci as well. So it's going from the center, right, 7.5, so 2, 4, 6, 7.5. Right there is foci 1, okay, and then foci 2, negative 1.5, right there. Okay, so if you want to label them, label everything. F1, F2, here's your center, okay, and then you got vertices 1, vertices 1 and 2. Okay, so that's graphing a hyperbola when you're given the equation, okay. So just to double check, right, we got the center, we got the foci, we got our A, B, and C. We got our asymptotes. Eccentricity, real quick. Okay, C over A. Well, remember we've got C is 4.5. A was 2. Okay, so 4.5 divided by 2, right? You've just got 2.25. Okay. All right, so that's your the whole thing for a hyperbola. Okay. So just to kind of show you if there's anything else you needed, here it is. Okay, I know it's a lot, but you've got plenty of resources. Make sure to use office hours if you need. But that is graphing and finding all the information for a hyperbola. Have a great day. See you later.